Hey guys, I'm Eric, and this is Talking to People again. Our first guest, Andy, has returned. When Andy was on before, he talked about living with cystic fibrosis and how it affects his life day to day. Before we stopped, he got into some of his travels, and we're going to go ahead and continue on with that. So, Andy, you said traveling before and after your transplant had a big effect in different ways. Kind of go through, let us know, what was it like? What was it like before the transplant? Like, were you limited to where you went? Were you scared of going to certain places, and how that affected you? And then we'll kind of go into what it was like post-transplant.
Sure. Yeah, the big thing prior to transplant was packing around a nebulizer machine.
Oh, okay. The breathing treatments?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
wow.
breathing treatments, yeah. So, luckily the technologies came around and they make them about probably the size of an iPad now,
Oh, okay.
except for maybe 4 inches
Right.
thick. Yeah, it was traveling around with that, and it's sort of like a briefcase full of that and medications.
Did you get stopped
Still,
by TSA a lot?
the only problem I had ever was Denver.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was flying out of Denver, and they swabbed that machine and ran tests on it. And let me go. They didn't care about all the pills and such. They just was curious about the nebulizer, and
Wait, so they swabbed it?
yeah, they swabbed it and stuck the swab in a machine.
What were they trying to find?
I don't know. I
Huh.
guess it detects
I guess
contraband, or
they never found it.
They never found it because it's just a nebula.
Dude, that's hilarious. I can imagine just like some guard sitting there like, oh, you better check this thing out. This looks just fucking suspicious device.
And I'm telling him what it is. Oh, well. They get paid for that. So.
Yeah, that's their job.
Yeah, that's been the only real trouble. The rest of it was just actually packing the weight around.
Right.
Packing it all around.
So, yeah, because you had to use this thing daily, right?
Yeah, twice a day.
Jeez. So you went, and what was some of the earliest travels? Was CF setting in pretty well by when you started traveling, or did you not start traveling until the symptoms were a little bit more severe?
I think that's all. There's no solid line there.
Oh, really?
I feel like I've been traveling my whole life between doctor's appointments and going on vacation and such. So there's never really been a start. I've just kind of always been doing it.
Okay.
But as far as getting into deeper tourist traveling, it had really nothing to do with CF. It was all timing.
Oh, okay.
Just timing, really.
So if it's just timing, we weren't looking to travel, or it's just kind of came up and it sounded good?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay. So what were some of the earliest places you visited? What kind of effects, what limitations did you have, or what limitations did you overcome?
I travel in the U.S. a lot, and the biggest thing I found was, with the CF infected lungs was 8,000, 6,000 feet. Like, you can't breathe.
Yeah.
Here in Colorado, we're already at
50,
mile high and
yeah.
20% less oxygen. So add another 1,000 feet to that, and there's that much less. So
it's a little bit denser here in the basement.
Probably, yeah.
No, but jokes aside. So around in the U.S., you kind of visited. Let's see, where did you say you visited in the U.S. again?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. What was the most interesting pre-transplant?
I don't want to say they're Sequoia, seeing those big trees.
Yeah.
And the Sierra Nevadas, that was pretty nice. I don't know, man. I just love nature, so it's all gonna be nature spots.
Anywhere out in the open.
Yeah.
Did you do a lot of camping? You stay in the outdoors, or just kind of stay in hotels or with friends?
Stayed a lot with friends. Few hotels. A lot of the traveling was really just going from point A to point B and making the most of what's in between.
Yeah, because I remember last time you said you were an outdoorsman, so just wanted to see. So was it just kind of hard before your transplant, was it just kind of hard to stay outdoors?
No,
not
really. I felt the fresh air was better
I gotcha.
than indoor air.
I gotcha. So whenever you stayed there, you just kind of like, you went and explored during the day, but you didn't actually like camp out.
Right.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, I just drove through, had a little day adventure, and
No, fun. And that's what kind of ticked off into traveling, or I know you said last time that traveling from West Virginia, there wasn't too many facilities where you could go to for treatment, so that kind of got you into traveling. But you did say there was a difference pre and post. What was the main difference that you noticed?
the main difference is not being out of breath when you're trying to catch a plane and you have a 30-minute layover.
And how the altitude effect wasn't as bad.
Of course, the altitude effect is negligible now.
Yeah, I'd say you've been here for, what, 2 years now, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to 13,000 feet
Nice.
and feel fine.
Good.
A little shorter breath at 13, but I think everybody is.
Yeah, I think everybody
Initially.
is. We went out to Rocky Mountain National Park. I think the highest point there is 12.6 or 12.7, isn't it? Somewhere around there. Maybe 12.
Sure.
It's somewhere in the 12,000s range. You can feel it up there.
Yeah.
So you got out, or you didn't get out. You got around. You was this I guess early 20s basically.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, really, I guess if you really want to have a spark to it, like early 20s, I moved to Charlotte for a couple years and got into carpet cleaning.
Okay.
And the carpet cleaning just took me everywhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I would go for 2 weeks from anywhere from Chicago to Miami to the Keys, over to, I think, as far west as Biloxi, Mississippi, Memphis.
Really?
So we kind of covered that whole area. And yeah, it was kind of fun being gone for 2 weeks, staying in a hotel, clean the hotel you stay in.
Did you go and clean businesses or something, or
Clean hotels?
hotels? Okay, as I say, it doesn't sound like household carpet cleaning.
No.
When you said carpet cleaning, I thought like the carpet cleaners like you see around. They drive around in the vans. They're pretty local. They do flood and restoration, stuff like that.
Right. We were just we had bigger contracts.
Oh, cool.
Than those guys.
So that allowed
we had
you to
contracts
go
with like Rooms to Go, Applebee's, Marriott.
Nice.
And that's where we would go. We'd go stay in a Marriott, clean the whole thing. Go to another Marriott, clean that one.
Did they let you stay there for cleaning their carpets?
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Free breakfast.
I was expecting you to say no. Like, no, those assholes.
No, that was a very good job. It was fun.
That sounds fun. And you did that against doctor's orders.
Well, I mean,
to an extent.
Shouldn't be cleaning carpets.
Right.
That's what they said, but
Hey, you did it.
I did it.
Yeah.
I think I felt better afterwards.
Was there a reason it was carpet cleaning?
Carpet cleaning? Not really. No
No.
reason behind it other than
Gotcha.
I knew a person that could get me a job, and I kind of liked it and stuck with it for 10 years.
Dude, that's sweet. Oh, 10 years.
Uh,
So, yeah, I can see how that could get you into traveling. So I'm just trying to paint a picture here. You're traveling around. You're going to different hotels, different businesses, cleaning carpets. Allows you to explore different areas because you were there for a few days at a time, up to a week at a time.
oh, yeah.
So that is it safe to say that kind of kicked off some of your traveling?
It sparked the bug.
Yeah.
If you want to put it that way, yeah. That sparked the bug for sure. And getting to sit at a place for a week gives you a time to really enjoy it.
Oh, I bet.
You know,
Probably to the point where you
get to
want to
meet
stay
some
longer.
local people and stuff, and the way we were traveling, it wasn't tourist traveling, so there's a big difference.
Yeah, you were there on business, so you got to see the different side of it.
Yeah.
That
Because
seems-
when we would go out of town, it's just a normal town, and you're just another Joe out there. But, but when you're traveling, you kind of stick out because you're usually somewhere
that's kind of cool. I can kind of relate to that. I did a job where I had to drive around and deliver tires or go do trainings, but that was mostly like in between St. Louis and Chicago,
right.
and all in between there. But it was fun getting out there and meeting the people. It's different than, like you said, it's different from actual like leisure traveling.
Yeah,
but in its own sense, it's not bad at the same time because you're still somewhere new. You're still meeting new people, finding new things and cool things around there to do. So in a way, it's almost kind of like company paid travel, even though you got an agenda.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it was fun whenever I did it. So I could imagine for 10 years going across the country.
I had that one for maybe 2 or 3.
Oh, okay.
then, once I moved into Morgantown, West Virginia, I got a job with carpet cleaning, water and fire restoration, and then
Okay.
really got into the water restoration part.
The part where you shouldn't have been into.
Yeah, especially, mold and stuff. But no, that really kind of kicked off my little scientific bug in me. And
Right. It seems like you kind of, you played it safe. So that's with most jobs. You play it safe. There's not a lot of risk as long as you do it right.
I guess.
Yeah. And most jobs are like that. If you do something according to the standards, you wear your mask, you wear your protective gear, you do all that shit. Right?
Mask?
I know, right?
No.
It's so hard.
No.
I worked in an industrial background for a long time. Yeah, I'm an advocate for safe workforce, though. Like, seriously, anywhere I've worked, I always go to the SDS books, the PPE, figure out exactly what I need. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a lot of people got hurt. A lot of people got hurt. I don't want to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess I would just have a different mindset altogether.
Right. It's fuck it attitude.
Yep.
Oh well. Nothing wrong with that. So this was all before you got your lung transplant, right?
Yeah, correct.
You said, so that was 8 years ago. So that was all through your 20s you were doing this. Was it all in America during that time?
No, that was also, Europe and Caribbean.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how was your trip to Europe pre-transplant then? Because you still had your older lungs. You were starting to see the side effects, or not the side effects, but the symptoms more and more. I know you said it was kind of like you've always had them, but into your 20s, and I'm guessing later into your 20s, it gradually got worse. Were you still traveling then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the first trip to Europe, there was no nebulizer, even though I was supposed to be using one.
Oh,
I
really?
just took a albuterol inhaler to get by,
Oh man.
and that kind of worked.
Kind of.
Yeah, it kind of worked. And then I don't know how many years later, maybe about 5 years later, I ended up going to Spain, and that's when I actually had to take a nebulizer and sit down and actually do the treatments for the required times and such.
Did that restrict you from doing any things you wanted to do, or is there anything like if you were able to go back on the same trip today, would you be able to do the same things?
Yes.
Nice, good. So you didn't care. You didn't let anything stop you.
Right.
Good.
Yeah, I would just have a lighter backpack. That's all.
Oh, okay. So afterwards, so you traveled the U.S., you traveled Spain, you traveled the Caribbean. I think we went into a little bit of depth in the Caribbean last time, I think.
Yes.
But I don't think we got somewhat into Europe though, didn't we?
Some of it.
Some of it, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember if that was during the pre-video that we took that we kind of tested it out, or during the actual video. I'm sorry, man. So this was all pre-transplant. Post-transplant, you got freed up from. Were you free from the nebulizer then?
Yeah.
So you were able to enjoy basically all of your time there without having to stop.
Correct. That was a big change. Was not packing that around, being able to breathe, and not having to stop and do a breathing treatment.
God, how'd that feel?
Freedom.
Nice.
Best word to describe it is just freedom.
What was the first thing you did?
Went to Niagara Falls and Toronto.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Did you go over in a barrel?
No. No, just watch the water. That's all.
Just to watch the water. After that, where did you go post-transplant? What kind of places did you visit?
Well, for the first 6 months, kind of lived out of my Jeep.
Okay.
And traveled the Northeast and a little bit of the Michigan and Upper Peninsula part I was telling you about.
Okay. What was it like just kind of traveling around in the Jeep?
Again, it just felt like freedom.
There
was no coughing. I could breathe fine. And
what was the best adventure?
The best adventure in that scenario?
Hell yeah, you traveling around in a Jeep? You're in there for how long were you in it?
all in all, I think we did it for about 6 months.
Yeah, that's one long adventure. There's got to be something good in there.
Well, we already talked about the running into the Canada border
Yeah.
police, and so that was one good one, I guess.
By the way, my wife told me not to do accents after that.
Yeah, with the Jeep, let's see. Not sure. I'm not coming up with any good ones right now.
Okay. All right. What's your best traveling story?
Best traveling story. Man, so many. There's so many different stories out there. Best traveling story. Oh, geez. I think maybe one of the fun ones that I've had was I went from West Virginia, and then I took a train to Miami and helped a friend move from Miami to Bakersfield.
Okay.
And the train took 36 hours. And then from Miami to Bakersfield, that was 36 hours.
Jeez.
So
Well, that's cross country though, right?
yeah, all the way from Miami, like the tip of Florida, all
the way to Bakersfield, California.
Yeah.
Where's Bakersfield in California?
It's like South Central.
Oh, okay. Southern California.
No, not
No?
really in Southern California. It's above Barstow.
Don't know where that's at.
Yeah, if you cut it in half, it's just in the upper
Oh, okay.
southern
It's right in
section.
the middle.
Yeah.
Right in the middle on the West Coast.
What do they call it? The Great Valley or something.
Oh, okay.
Where all the fallen farmland is.
So you're on a train, 36 hours. You said this is where's the wildness happen?
The wildness?
Yeah.
I think the car drive.
Oh, really?
Across the country.
Is this because you got to stop and meet so many people?
No, we didn't stop for very long. The car never got a chance to cool off.
Oh, jeez.
It was NASCAR pit stops, One person gets out, uses the bathroom, gets some snacks. The other person fills up the car, washes the window.
Nice.
Hop back in, get going.
Just get going.
Yeah.
Did you ever go just for the ride, or was it all just for the ride? Because it seems like if you're going like that, it sounds like you're in a hurry.
That was in a hurry. But it is kind of fun to travel that way.
Right.
While I was in California, I had a chance to help a couple move from, Southern California to Cleveland.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they paid me to drive a U-Haul across the country for them while they flew there.
Was this somebody you knew?
And meet up with them. Yes, I knew them.
Okay.
And so we had the U-Haul, and, one of the surprises was like, by the way, we have a piano. I'm like, okay. So we got the piano in the U-Haul.
Okay.
We filled it to the brim, and then we hooked the car trailer to it and fill an SUV up and then drive it up on the car trailer.
Oh.
And I think I had like 4 or 5 days to get there, and I did it in like 3.
Yeah, that's not too bad.
I had no reason. I was by myself. I just kept driving.
Yeah.
I would take little 20-minute naps or.
Did you drive straight through?
Yeah.
Dang. How long did you sleep at night?
I didn't really sleep until I got to Ohio.
Oh, no crap.
And then I was so ahead of time, I actually had to get an extra hotel room to wait on them to fly out.
Oh, wow.
So, for me, that was a nice little kick.
Dude,
it's like I beat you out here, and I drove.
Taking my time, man. I just kind of kicked back and enjoyed the scenery and just looked at things.
Well, I mean, in a U-Haul, you are kind of taking your time because...
That's true.
I mean, they don't like you going over 65.
Yeah.
And it had a trailer that was loaded. So...
I
went pretty slow. I didn't go over 65 ever.
A lot of fuel stops.
I don't think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, I still can't
That happened more frequently than I imagined. I guess that thing being loaded down, I think it got about 3 hours per tank.
Yeah,
I think
sounds
something like
that
that.
sounds about
Like a
right.
normal car will do 4 hours.
Yeah,
Like
we
normal
drove a
car truck
U-Haul.
will do 4 hours, but I think that U-Haul loaded down. We got 3 in.
Yeah, we loaded one up, and the U-Hauls don't use diesel trucks for the most part.
No, they
Because
don't.
when we moved to Colorado from Illinois, we took a U-Haul, and we put so much money in gas in that thing. It was insane.
Yep.
And like you said, like every 3 hours, we had to fill it up.
Yeah. Yeah, they gave me a credit card, so I think the eventual tally was near $1,000 of gas
Sounds about right.
to get it
Yeah.
across.
Yeah.
You know.
It's a good thing you weren't doing trucker regulations.
Yeah, if DOT would have stopped me, I would have been in trouble.
Way station.
How long you been driving? Don't remember. It's been over a day, I'm sure.
See your logbook.
Can you see my texts?
Yeah, I'm sure they'd love that one.
Yeah. It's like, see, I've only been texting for 4 hours.
So-
Driving for 4.
So let's see here. So the elevation was a factor at first, but then it wasn't. After you got the lung transplant. Now you were traveling on limited income too. So how did that? You know, you've got CF. You're doing odd jobs. You're doing a lot of jobs that you probably shouldn't do. But then again, you also kind of traveled. How did you fund your travels?
Well, since a lot of my income is, regulated.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and kind of explain a little bit of that?
Well, to be on Social Security disability, they assume you're totally disabled and you're not allowed to make X amount per month.
Right.
And that changes per year. This year is $880, and that's gross. That's before Uncle Sam takes his 15, and
Yeah.
and then you go spend it, and there goes another 8%.
Right.
So.
And if you go over, like, what do they do?
It seems like they just start cutting medications first, which is ironically the thing I need every day.
Worst thing. Yeah. So they, and I don't want to like sound bad or anything, but it sounds like they punish you for trying to make more money than they say you're allowed to make.
That's exactly how I feel.
Dude, that's messed up.
When I clock in, I feel like I'm being punished.
Do you have to like sit there and literally watch your hours?
Yeah. Yeah, at the end of every week, last time I told my boss, I'm like, dude, I went over 3 hours last week, so we got to cut it this week.
Now, your boss is cool with it, though,
Yeah.
right? They're like, they know the situation.
Yeah.
So, and the money that comes in from the Social Security disability, does it help offset what they don't let you work?
I don't think to the fullest extent.
Yeah.
Especially being here in Colorado, where any job is at least 13 an hour.
No, that's a good point.
Here I could totally bypass what they give me with a full-time job or second job or whatever.
Right. Yeah, because it's expensive to live here.
But if you're living in Mississippi, West Virginia, Alabama,
right.
it's probably easier to.
Yeah. Well, a lot of those areas are
they're still paying, federal minimum wage, and that doesn't add up.
It's still like that a lot in Central Illinois. But the thing is, is it's like everything is cheaper and you make less money, but for somehow it's just like it's harder you just tread water there, and it just sucks. Mm-hmm. That's actually what brought us out here. We were working. She was working a full-time job. I was working a full-time job. Both decent jobs. Our rent was only like $575 a month, and somehow it's still working paycheck to paycheck between two decent jobs, trying to make ends meet, living there between bills, cost of living. It's just everything,
right?
And it all just piles down on you. And then come out to Colorado, and not saying that like miraculously better, but it's like a little more feasible, and just a little bit more feasible goes that much farther sometimes.
For sure.
But so you've kind of always worked the odd jobs. You've been avid traveling. What did you do for money whenever you were on the road? Like when you were actually traveling, but when you got to the point where you were traveling away from work, when you weren't doing it for a job.
That's all been planned and saved.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's all been tallied up. Get airplane tickets, get that money out first,
Right.
or whatever tickets are expensive, and then save up money.
Would that be an upside to kind of getting the Social Security supplement, or?
That would be an upside if I decided to take a month-long
'Cause
vacation.
I know if I tried,
If I wanted to take a 2-month-long vacation, like I'm still getting money.
right? If I tried it, no,
Uh,
I'd come home to nothing.
yeah. Oh, at this point I would too, because I couldn't pay rent and travel
Right.
at this time.
Oh, geez. Yeah, and it seems like that's a problem in the last couple months, or not a couple months, but past few years. It seems like things have really shot up.
Mm-hmm.
Like seems like almost like all over around the country, rents have almost doubled. People are struggling, and it's just hard on all of us. So I couldn't imagine what it'd be like just kind of hanging out, being told that I'm only allowed to work X amount of hours. I feel like I'd go crazy. Did it kind of drive you nuts for a little bit, or?
Yeah, it does. It puts you in a box.
It's probably man. I just couldn't imagine it. I couldn't imagine being told, you only make this much, or we're not going to help you. Which, by the way, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
Because if we don't help you, you're still not going to make enough, anyways.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's a no-win situation. So that's why I sold weed to fund my travels in the past.
Hey.
Here in Colorado, that's out the window. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm down here with the rest of you guys.
It's funny. I think I've heard some Coloradans already. They kind of say that that's what brought people out here. Because you came 2 years ago. I came a year ago. I've noticed a lot. Like we moved here from Illinois, and I've started to notice when I first moved to Longmont, there wasn't too many Illinois plated cars around here. Mm-hmm. And now, dude, it's a year later. Like every time I'm driving and I see somebody from Illinois out here, I'm like, oh.
Yeah, this is becoming a pretty big melting pot for
America. Yeah,
it's kind of nice.
It really is. I don't really. There's almost an appreciation for Colorado because of the culture here. Because there's people that have come from the East Coast, people that have come from the West Coast, people that have come from the Midwest, and all over the world, it seems like. And they kind of end up right here, and it's really amazing because it's almost like you travel but don't have to travel. Our backyards, they're Rocky Mountains. Denver's like half an hour to an hour away. You got different sorts of style everywhere. Boulder's its own almost kind of style. Denver's its own kind of style. I've never been to Colorado Springs yet, but I've heard it's its own kind of style too.
It is.
It's really, I've never been to a place like that. Yeah, never been to a place like that. So, so you came here. Was that what kind of brought you here?
It was to get back into the medical cannabis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
At the time, medical cannabis was quite a few years. Didn't they have it in California also by the time you came out here too, or?
Yeah.
I
lived in California, and that's where I started using the medical cannabis a lot.
Was Colorado just better on that? But so I heard you can go into a doctor's office in California and be like, it gives me headaches because I'm not smoking weed, so they write you a prescription.
Kinda, yeah. Last time I was there, it was pretty much like that. And then the first doctor's appointment here, they were very in tune and figuring out what you needed, and
really?
Actually gave me suggestions on what I should take and how I should take it, and I was like, well, that's the way it should be. That's a better way to do it instead of a doctor just sitting there making $1.50 off of you and signing his name to a piece of paper.
Same doctor is also the dealer, maybe. Yeah. Did they kind of say try the edibles or try the sativa, try the indica, try the flower?
No, he just suggested to me 1-to-1.
Oh, really? 1-to-1 as in half THC, half CBD?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's been the perfect combination.
There's a lot of there's a lot of people that say that too.
Yeah.
They say the entourage effect, the whole effect of the cannabinoids is what it is, not just one or the other.
Oh, absolutely. If you can get a whole plant extraction, that is something totally different than anything you buy in the stores.
Right, absolutely, because it have everything in it.
Yeah.
One concentrate. You have your THC, your CBD, all of your other cannabinoids, CBN, CBG. There's like 100 of them.
Yeah. But yeah, those two work well together. But the entourage effect is very important because for a 1-to-1, you don't get high, so you can function daily.
Yeah.
I mean, it's less than taking like an oxy or hydrocodone or anything else like that for pain.
Right.
Except for you don't feel any.
Well, that's the funny thing.
high
Some
from
people
it.
say that CBD doesn't do anything, but it actually does. It counteracts THC. It affects your CB1 receptors, I believe. I can't remember all of how it works.
That's why you don't have any psychoactive effects.
Yeah, because CBD doesn't have the psychoactive effects, but it also, from what I've read, that it helps calm the psychoactive effects of THC.
Yeah.
So you can actually take THC without they say without the paranoia or without the anxiety. The CBD and that entourage effects helps kind of level it out and mellow it out. So
Right.
somebody who is inexperienced with it, they're not going to freak out or any of that stereotypical stuff that people who kind of try pot for the first time do. I'm a full believer in its medicinal capabilities. So I really do believe that it can help a lot of people with a lot of different issues. And I think the world is just now starting to kind of open up to it. 'Cause even when it first came out, everybody was like, oh, you're just doing it to get high. And they thought it was just a reason for people to smoke weed.
Right. I heard that a lot.
It seems lately they're starting to figure out more and more that it actually does help people. So anything that can help, and you said that marijuana has affected your life incredibly, right?
Yes.
Since starting treatments, how has it kind of affected you positively?
Positively?
Has it affected you negatively?
Oh, no. I don't think there's any negative effects. Yeah, positively. One of the biggest things I've noticed is, with all of the 14 drugs I take and having their levels going up and down, the one thing cannabis is famous for is homeostasis.
Okay.
So I've definitely noticed when I've intake more and more cannabis,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I go do labs and such, like my labs have just plateaued out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So,
It created its own homeostasis. Before I was using cannabis, they were all over the place. Like
so
every 6 weeks, I go to the
What do you mean by your labs and the homeostasis?
Every 6 weeks I would go to the doctor, and they're testing for one of the anti-rejection meds.
Okay.
Like it's Prograf.
Okay.
And they want it within a range. It gets too high, you get sort of basically you trip, but you feel bad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if it gets too low, you're at risk at rejection. So there's a little Goldilocks area they want it to be in. And for a while, I was, taking 5 grams, then 4, then 5, then 3, then 6, and jumping all over the place. And
just taking it based off your charts?
Based off lab results.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I started using cannabis, it just slowly plateaued out.
Oh, really?
And I've weaned myself down to 1 gram twice a day.
Oh, really?
Milligram, sorry. 1 milligram twice a day.
I wouldn't know the difference in the dosage anyways.
Either way, from 5 to 1, and I still have the same number that they're looking for with that Goldilocks area.
And this would not have happened without. Are there any studies, or is it just kind of just personal experience?
Yeah, just personal.
You know anybody else?
No. I've looked. I've sent some stuff out on Reddit and got a lot of negative feedback of, you've had a transplant. Why would you ever do stuff like that? And blah blah blah. And but I understand that those people are just before or just after transplant, and that's a very emotional and a very high risk time for us.
Right.
And I'm like, near 8 years out and wanting to talk about this stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Somehow, some way.
You're definitely a success story, and your story definitely needs told because, like you said, I'm sure just knowing people and how people act in general, and knowing that you've been through a double lung transplant, people will be like, "Oh my God, why would somebody be doing these drugs after getting a lung transplant?" But this has changed your life dramatically for the better. It's leveled you out. It's keeping you in shape. It's keeping your mind clear. What would the downside be? There's no studies that show that it's harmful. There's no studies that show that it's addictive. There's no studies that show that you can nobody's overdose from it.
The only thing I could think of,
you get too high and sleep for a couple days.
I've done that. That's a story in itself. But no, I think maybe on a realistic level, if you maybe consume too much too often, I think it may take a toll on your liver. And that's just me, because that's where the THC molecule is processed and it spits out when you eat it, not smoke it.
Yeah, I guess there probably haven't been as many studies on ingesting it, but nobody, like what they say is you can never smoke enough to overdose.
It's like a rule of thumb is like your body weight in 15 minutes.
That's what I've always heard. I've never searched to see if it's legit, but everybody that smokes weed has tried.
Yes.
I don't think there's a single one of them out there who says, I overdosed. Really?
Nope. You went to sleep. That's all you did.
Right. Oh, I had a bad trip. No, you didn't.
No. Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty safe. So I took an ounce and used the Rick Simpson oil method.
Okay.
And made it down into about 6 grams of this tar-looking substance.
Okay.
Which is basically all the cannabinoids.
Basically hash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was eating it and trying out, sample sizes and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And so, one day I just ate a lot and was out for 2 days.
Oh. I'm sorry. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you.
Like, you don't let that sink in, but yeah, 2 days. I didn't get up to use the bathroom or eat or drink. I was out. Woke up feeling great.
I bet.
Like, no hangover. You just wake up feeling great.
Did you have any dreams?
I don't remember. Just out.
I remember one time eating a brownie that was just way too crazy.
Cannabis and/or THC isn't the best for dreaming.
No, it's not. They say it's a dream suppressor anyways.
Yeah.
They say if you take too much THC, if you do it before bed, it kind of represses your dreams. But now they said from what I understand, they haven't found any downsides to that. They just know that for some reason it affects your REM sleep.
Right.
And then they also say that if you do it a lot, like if you smoke a lot of weed before bed and you go a long time without dreaming, that when you do finally run out or you stop, and when your dreams start coming back, from what I've heard is they come back like tenfold. Like you have extremely vivid, crazy dreams.
Yeah. So.
But alcohol does that too, though.
When I started using the cannabis from dispensaries in California, probably 2 years into it,
okay.
No dreams. But I didn't realize it was the cannabis.
I gotcha.
But seriously, no dreams.
Yeah.
It was just go to sleep, wake up.
And like I said,
Ambien was in there somewhere for a little bit until I realized Ambien was just so bad. But yeah, no dreams. And then one time in Haiti, kind of got sick from, I guess maybe from some water or something. So I spent the day in bed. So many vivid, like
just wild dreams.
Yeah, just taking you to different places and.
I bet that'd be good for a lucid dreamer.
Yeah.
Somebody that wants to try to control their dreams. I bet that'd be the best way to do it.
Quit dreaming for a while and then.
Yeah. And then just let it all come back really hardcore.
Right.
If you can control that, I bet you it would be a blast.
Probably.
All right. So let's see here. Just a recap. Actually, so we started off pre-transplant travel, mostly in the U.S., Europe, and then the Caribbean. Post-transplant travel, where did you go? Was it still mostly U.S. or?
No, ironically, the post-transplant is when I started going to places that were high risk for someone like me.
Oh, really?
So like Haiti,
Oh.
India.
Oh, God. Yeah, you went into a little bit of that because you went to India for a wedding, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay. Let's go ahead and put a hold on that for now. That way we can get you back on again. We'll do a whole series out of this for all I care, man. It's an awesome having you on.
Yeah.
But for those of you interested, if you want to learn more about cystic fibrosis, you can go to the cffoundation.org or the bonnellfoundation.org. They've got everything that you need to learn about CF. You can find information. If you've got a friend that has CF, inform yourself a little bit. You can go to these pages. You can learn how to help, how to just understand a little bit better. Maybe you can know what they're going through. Anything else that you'd like to put in there? Like anybody else that kind of helped you or that you can direct people to before we go?
Not right offhand. Not right now.
Okay. Hey, that's no biggie.
Yeah.
So Andy, it's been a pleasure having you on again.
Yes, thank you.
Hopefully soon we'll get down here and we'll do another recording. And like I said, as long as you've got stories, we've got ears, and hopefully all you guys out there have ears too. If you're just getting into us, we're only a few videos in. We're going to do some more talking with Andy. We're also going to like to get other people on. Please like, subscribe, share. If you like what we're doing, let people know what we're doing here and help get the word out. We're going to get better. We're going to get better equipment, build this up from the ground up. And we're just going to keep coming on here and letting you guys know what real life is like. So once again, Andy.
All right. Good to meet you.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
Meet me. All right, man.
Yep.
We'll see you next week.
All right. Have a good one.